Let's go! Woo!
Shouts to all my lost boys. Shouts to all my lost boys. We rowdy. Shouts to all my lost boys. Shouts to all my lost boys. We rowdy. Shouts to all my lost boys. Shouts to all my lost boys. We rowdy. Shouts to all my lost boys. Shouts to all my lost boys. When you're ready, bass. When you're ready.
Right, so as I said, it's Saturday. So I've had a pretty mixed week. Just a quick recap for you. It's all on Strava if you wanted to see any of the details. But I've done 4 swims. Swam slightly further than I have in previous weeks, nearly 15, 16k. The main difference being 3 of the swims were in this new 50-metre pool that I've started going to that's about 20 minutes away, which is wicked, but it's somewhat demoralising, although it's for the greater good. And the last one was a 4k swim in the open water, which I did with Heather and Mark. Yeah, we did 4 laps and felt really good. And that was at that point, it was my 3rd swim in a row. All of them had been about 4k, so you know, it's a lot of swimming in 3 days, or a lot of swimming for me anyway. Run wise, did a hill session on the treadmill again. I don't know, but I think it's one of the last ones. It was 4 lots of 5 minutes. The main difference being I had the garage door open this week, which made it way more enjoyable for me, and I wasn't running at what felt like threshold heart rate the week before because it's a hell of a lot cooler. But I do have to do some heat prep for Nice potentially, as Lewis Eccleston reminded me this week. Everything else has been aerobic. I had one really crap run where I literally needed a crap 3 times in the run, and it was just an easy hour, so that wasn't enjoyable. I know most people struggle, but some evening runs just always go like that, no matter what I do, whether I eat clean, dirty, drink a lot, don't drink a lot during the day. You know, I don't feel ill, but for whatever reason, needed the toilet a few times. And then last but not least, on the bike, one easy ride for 90 minutes, which I ended up doing indoors, just for timing and efficiency. And the other one was an overgear session, 4 by 8 minutes. And I had the cadence down at like 45, 48, which absolutely ripped my legs apart, but was very good. So that's this week. This morning I did a little run with some hill strides. Got some footage of that. Hill strides, done. With wind up the hill. The old Ross, or the uncoached Ross, might have gone top to bottom to top, try and take the run com. Perfect conditions. But no, we must behave. And I'm out on my cross bike, as you can tell, for about an hour. The weather is pretty grim. It's sort of raining, and the wind later gets up to like 30 miles an hour apparently, so just trying to get a little bit in outside before the weather turns. And tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow I've got a 10-mile TT on a legitimate fast course, at which spin data's got me going sub 20 minutes, which has been a bit of a goal of mine I've only ever had one crack at it, which was 2 years ago, pretty much to the day, down in Devon, and I got quite close, but on that day I didn't have a disc wheel, I didn't have a big enough chain ring, so yeah, it's something I've wanted to do for a little while and believe I'm capable of. So that's the goal tomorrow, but as part of that I'm going to make it a sort of 3-4 hour bike ride. So I'll ride out to it because it's relatively close to home. It's about 20 miles away, 25 miles away. And then I will do the TT, and then I'll ride home. And then I have a TBC. Ooh. I've got a 90-minute run to do. And I had a really good conversation with coach this week. So yeah, we agreed to push the envelope a bit, where if at the end of the week I feel good, to sort of push the bike or run a bit. So rather than just riding easy or running easy, try and run a bit harder, bike a bit harder. So for example, tomorrow is a 90-minute aerobic run, and that's what I'll do. But if I get home from the TT, so it's a 90-minute run off the bike, sorry. So if I get home from the TT and I feel good, what he's given me is an option to do 3 lots of 4 minutes, building the pace from 5-minute Ks to 4:30 Ks to 4-minute Ks, and repeat that. If you feel really good, do it 8 times through for just over a 90-minute run. I think that works out at. And if I feel pants, just do it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. I did not know there were this many bloody crossings on this path. Yeah, just do it once or twice and then run the rest aerobically. So yeah, just to push it a little bit, because I haven't done that traditionally. And the one lesson I learned going into Kona, although I'm a believer in being better to be undercooked than overcooked, I definitely was mega undercooked, and that wasn't through mine or my then coach's fault necessarily. I did a lot of heat training, and because of the heat training I didn't really do much intensity in the 4 weeks before, and then once I got out there I was getting over jet lag and all that sort of stuff. So I felt like I didn't really train for 5 or 6 weeks prior, which meant I probably lost a bit of fitness rather than gained some or maintained it. So this time not that I'm going to do as strict a heat prep and go in a lab. This time I want to push it a bit, and once I get to Finland 2 weeks out, then I can relax, take it easy, taper properly, and absorb that little bit of extra training. So it's not necessarily extra volume, just some extra intensity. Right, I've got to concentrate now. Speak to you in a bit. So a big part of trying to be a relatively successful age group athlete in terms of getting your training done, one of the big tips or secrets is get your stuff ready the day before you train. So I've got my 10-mile TT tomorrow. I'm riding to it, doing the TT, riding home, and then planning on doing a 90-minute run after. Now, in order to kind of get that done and impress people on Strava with how active I've been on a Sunday morning, the key thing is to be ready and have things laid out. So it's almost bedtime on a Saturday night, 8:30, living the wildlife. But yeah, bike's ready over here. Put my wax chain back on, bottles filled up, ready to go. Garmin's fully charged, tyres are pumped. And then over here on the floor is my somewhat transition zone, shall we say. So all my kit here for riding. I've got my skin suit, some gels, my socks. My pockets have got my number in or number belt, my calf guards, some tablets, and my undervest thing. Helmet's there, shoes are there with overshoes. And then I've got my run stuff here. So I've got shorts. I don't know whether I'll wear a vest or t-shirt yet, depending on how hot or how the weather is. Socks. I've got 2 hats, partly because I've got my lovely Atoe hat here, which is starting to fade. But my NFT hat. Now I only wear this one either for racing or really hard sessions. That's my motivational hat. So I don't know how I'm going to feel when I start running. So if I need some extra boosts, I wear my Nathan Ford hat, fuel and hydration, and then I've got similar to the hats, multiple pairs of shoes. If I feel great, I'll wear my normal training shoes. If I want a bit of a carbon boost, I've got my 2 sort of training carbon shoes there. So that's it, ready to go. Now time for Betty buys.
I'm 16. 34, Michael Paul. Yeah. Okay.
Right, so time trial done. I've had to put my first ever query into the results, as I'm currently down as 20 minutes and 3 seconds, and I had 19:57 on my computer. So not that I'm that arsed, but obviously my goal was to break 20 minutes, and as it's so close, I've got a question mark next to my time just to have it double checked. But the problem is the timekeepers have to come back, and there's 150 riders or slots, and I was number 16, so I'd have to wait quite a while. So might not find out till tomorrow or when the results are officially published, but fingers crossed. How did the ride go? To be honest, it was scary. The wind was crazy. Not a favourable wind apparently, I'm not sure, but you did have a bit of a cross tail out and a cross head back, and you went out one way, back past start finish line, out another way, so it kind of wasn't even in a normal out and back. But there was one bit of the course that's particularly fast, and I was doing 60-70k an hour, and I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was holding on for dear life, and probably, well, I wasn't pedaling as much as I would like to have been. So anyway, let's get a coffee and some cake. On today's mid-ride home bonk, we have gone for a Twix, some crisps, a Coke and a Red Bull. Suffering a little bit. I hate cycling. Not a fun ride. So Matt left me, not sure if it was the company, I was too slow, or the wind, or everything. I'm just pootling home. I'm even on my favourite hill, Pedley Hill, and I'm not enjoying myself. Normally I whiz up here because it's all downhill from the top home for 30 minutes, but right now I can't even fathom running 20 minutes, let alone an hour and a half. I've had a Red Bull and a can of Coke. Hopefully that kicks in soon. But yeah, this is the side of training that I hate. Let's go. Oh, run done. My God, I said to Matt on the bike when we were both dying, I bet I run well, and I did all 8 reps. So the run was 8 lots of 12 minutes, but within every 12 minutes, every 4 minutes, build the pace. Targeting 5 minutes per K, 4.5 minutes, finishing at 4 minutes per K. I went with the black hat because I kind of thought I was just going to go and run 90 minutes steady, so I didn't need the Nathan Ford motivation. But I did put my carbon shoes on just in case the legs felt good. And yeah, that came literally out of nowhere. And it's just a stark reminder that I think Jan said once, you can have a bad day all day and still have a good day. And I did feel like real bad on the bike on the way home. But had a Twix, had some food, had a Coke and a Red Bull, had 120 grams of carbs on that run. And yeah, felt good. So that's the week done. Let's put my feet up now. I've got a few bits of Training Peaks work to do and a few calls with some athletes this afternoon. A nap, a snooze and a nap. Watch the Tour de France and go to bed. Thanks for watching. See you next week.